Hello everyone. I hope you're fine and sound and also continuing with your studies regularly. It's important to do so as we don't want you to be laid back. When we get back, you should be ready with the next course. Okay. Now, in the previous chapter, we dealt with water. We found out that water is a substance that we cannot live without. We cannot think of living without it. That's why the other name of water is life. Now today we will see what are the other elements without which we cannot think of our living. When the earth was found different than the other celestial bodies in the solar system, we found out, or rather the scientists found out, that the elements that distinguish earth from the other celestial body are air, water and the presence of land. So we already have dealt with water. So today the second most important element without which we cannot survive is air. Now moving into air, we all know that it's present around us. Isn't it? We cannot think of breathing, we cannot think of the existence of the biosphere without the presence of air around us. The Earth's surface is surrounded by a thin layer of gas, which we called as atmosphere. So air is basically, again, we cannot see it. It can only be felt. It's an odorless, colorless element without which we cannot survive. It's also a mechanical mixture of gases which is found everywhere and on and around the earth. The envelope of air surrounding the earth is called atmosphere. So when we are talking about the earth, we will be dealing with atmosphere in large. We will see each and every functions of different layers and its significance, the minute balance and the perfect organization of the earth's air balance that makes the biosphere or the living organisms survive onto the earth. Now we will see in which of the ways air becomes useful to us. Firstly, when we are discussing atmosphere, we should also mention that it's a reservoir of air. The dictionary meaning of reservoir is a large amount of something that is available to be used. Atmosphere is a vast area which is filled with air, which is the mixture of different gases. Hence, atmosphere may truly be called as reservoir of air. The gravitational field of the earth is strong enough to prevent gases of atmosphere from escaping. This is the reason why atmosphere of the earth remains always in a fixed position around the earth. So due to the gravitational pull, the atmosphere remains attached to the earth and creates a airy blanket around the earth which also protects us. Now we will see the different structure, the different layers of the atmosphere that makes the vertical structure. First comes the troposphere. Troposphere is the lowest layer and which is the adjacent to the earth. Okay, it extends about 16 km in tropical areas and 9.7 km in temperate regions. The rate at which the temperature of air decreased with the height of the atmosphere is called environmental lapse rate. This is the reason why we feel breathless while climbing the mountains in Darjeeling and we feel absolutely fine near to the beaches. Okay, as we go up into the atmosphere, with every increasing altitude there is a major drop of the atmospheric pressure. Okay. Now second comes the stratosphere. It is the layer that lies beyond the troposphere and it extends up to 50 kilometers. Okay. In this particular layer, I hope you know that we find the concentration of ozone layer which absorbs the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Okay, cloud, vapor and dust are not found in this region. That is why the aeroplanes, they fly through this region, because this is the layer which is free of atmospheric disturbances. Thirdly comes the mesosphere, which extends up to 90 kilometers. In this layer, temperature decreases with increasing altitude. Then comes thermosphere. The layer above the mesosphere is called thermosphere, which extends from 90 to 500 kilometer or so. Temperature rises with rise in altitude in this layer. So these two layers, in these two layers, we can see that temperature decreases with increasing height in mesosphere, and here in this layer also, in thermosphere, it is it rises with increasing altitude. Now, exosphere, it is beyond thermosphere and which extends up to 9,600 kilometer, which is the upper limit of the atmosphere. In the stratosphere and thermosphere, air gets warmer with the increase in altitude. This is called temperature inversion. It is against the principle applied in troposphere that temperature decreases with increasing height. That is why we are calling it inversion of temperature. Okay, meteorologists and space scientists say that from 0 to 1000 kilometer there is a special zone in the atmosphere which contains ions, okay, which are available here. Okay, that zone is called the ionosphere, and 82 to 660 kilometer of this zone helps us to hear radio programs. Now, here you can see the different layers of the atmosphere, which are given as an image here in this page. Moving on to the role of atmosphere. What are the different roles that the atmosphere plays? Firstly, cataract in eyes of human being. If reached to Earth's surface, like the atmosphere checks many harmful cosmic radiations and does not allow those red radiations to reach the Earth's surface. We all know that it acts as a blanket of the atmosphere of the Earth, and majorly its main work is to protect us from the harmful UV rays of the sun. Why do we apply this sunscreen lotions when we go before we go out? Because we want to protect our skin from the harmful radiations of the sun. If reached to Earth's surface, the ultraviolet radiation can produce following harmful effects. What are they? Cataract in eyes in human beings and animals, skin cancer, hereditary diseases, death of fishes and sea animals, damage and death of plants. Unfortunate rise in the chlorofluorocarbons, which are known as CFCs, and chlorofluoromethanes in the atmosphere is causing depletion in the stratospheric zone belt, which checks UV radiation against coming to the Earth's surface. The chlorofluorocarbons are rising in the atmosphere due to their uses as refrigerants and as propellants in aerosol dispenser, atmospheric stabilizer, weather and climatic conditions also. First, we will see how atmosphere acts as a blanket for the Earth. It protects the Earth as it is a large cover, and it is a large cover of the gas that surrounds the Earth. It is a blanket of atmosphere made up of different gases. Now, what are the major concentration of gases? We find 78% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen, and the other are the inert gases that we find in the atmosphere. They do not allow the heat to escape into the space. They keep the Earth warm, important, in a natural way. Without this natural warming, the climate of the Earth may become cooler by 33 degrees Celsius. The climate will be too cold for most living organisms to survive. Thus, it acts as a blanket for the Earth. So, when we use blanket during the winter, it is to protect us and to keep us warmer. So, Earth does the same job by not allowing the temperature to escape into the space, and thus it keeps us warm. Atmosphere. Going to the next page. Atmosphere maintains humidity and temperature. What is humidity? The invisible amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is called humidity. It is expressed in gram per cubic meter of air. The humidity of atmosphere changes from place to place and from time to time due to the following facts. What are they? Different places have different amounts of water on land surface. Land surfaces or in soils. Different places experience different degrees of temperature. For example, a place at high altitude of the earth has less temperature than 3 places in the sea level. Trees and hill slopes also reduce temperature of a place very much. That is the reason we always have the pledge of please plant trees, please grow trees, please water the trees, because we want the planet to become cooler. We want the planet to reduce some heat, because if the heat increases, then it will melt the glacier reserves, okay, which is not at all desirable for us. So humidity is the amount of water vapor that is present in the atmosphere. The maintenance of humidity is important. Why? Because humidity of atmosphere is related to the formation of clouds and incident of rainfall. Humidity regulates loss of heat from the earth, and it also cools the bodies of the animal. So how humidity is important? If humidity is not formed or it is not condenses, then it will not create precipitation or rainfall or the different types of precipitation that we see all around the globe. It also regulates the loss of heat from the earth and also keeps the bodies of the animals warm, because we coexist with different animals, different other species, so it is also important for them. Now comes to temperature. The composition of atmosphere determines the temperature of Earth's surface. 30% of all radiation reaching to the Earth is reflected back into the space by atmosphere. Clouds, atmospheric dust, atmospheric gases, snow and barren land reflect solar radiation and disperse them into the atmosphere. Thus, it maintains a balance between the amount of heat reaching to the earth and the amount of heating returning back to the space. So, temperature. What is the source of heat in our life? The sun, of course. But when the sun reaches the earth, not most of the portion is absorbed. Okay, some portions are going back to the space. Okay, radiating back to the space. Some amount is absorbed by the Earth's surface, some amount is absorbed by the atmosphere. So, in this way, we maintain a heat balance. I'll just give you a diagram or just a image of the heat balance for your better understanding. The atmosphere maintains a heat balance of the Earth. This is the reason the average temperature of the Earth remains steady. Now, we know that different places on Earth experience different temperatures. As a result, at a certain place becomes denser, whereas it becomes rare at the other places. The further results into differences in air pressure in those places. The differences leads to movement of air. Moving of air or wind transports temperature and humidity from one place to the other. Thus, atmosphere maintains humidity and temperature. Formation of the land breeze and the sea breeze is a good example of maintenance of temperature by atmosphere. Now, this is important to know that land breeze and sea breeze are the result of the constant flow of air that is flowing from the land towards the sea and from the sea towards the land. Now, this is most prevalent in places which are located close to the ocean. Take the example of Mumbai. Now, in the daytime, what happens? The land gets heated faster than the ocean. So, what happened? So what happened is, here, please read, as the air of the coastal area gets heated sooner than the air above the sea during the daytime. The heated air rises up and its place is occupied by the air coming through the sea, which is known as the sea breeze. At night, just the reverse happens. So when the land gets heated up, always a heated up air is lighter than a cooler air. So what will happen? The air will rise up and there will be a vacuum. There will be a vacuum that has been created. So from the high pressure area, that is from the sea, the air will blow towards the land. So this particular air is called sea breeze in the daytime, and just the reverse when during the night time, when the when the land will start, releasing the heat, okay, and it will be then it will be having the high pressure area, and from the land the air will move towards the sea. That will be known as the land breeze. Now, atmosphere, a source of gases. Atmospheric gases are very useful for human and other living organisms. Let's talk about them. First is nitrogen. It is in the mixture. It is the inactive part of air. It is functional in the atmosphere as an element. In combined form, it is found in potassium nitrate, sodium nitrate, and ammonium salt. It comes through rain, okay, and it is fixed by certain bacteria and given to plants. Plant synthesizes protein with the help of nitrogen. The same protein is consumed by different organisms and human beings through their food. So when the plant synthesizes protein with the nitrogen, it fixes them in their roots, and whenever we are having those plants or the roots of the plants, it is being useful to the humans as well. Liquefied nitrogen is used in making nitrogenous fertilizers. It is used in the process of refrigeration and in various industrial processes as well. So the most the highest concentration of air that is found in the atmosphere is nitrogen, and second comes the oxygen. It is found in the atmosphere in gaseous form. It is separated from the air through the fractional distillation of liquefied air in laboratories. Life is impossible without it. It is utilized on a large scale in various industries. A mixture of oxygen and acetylene is used in welding. It is also used as an oxidant and an bleaching agent. It helps in the disposal of various substances through the process of oxidation and help in the burning of fuels and production of energy. It produces ozone through it by breaking down and combining with another oxygen atom in the atmosphere. So just as nitrogen, we cannot imagine our life except without oxygen also. Next comes carbon dioxide. It is the compound of carbon and oxygen, and it is produced while burning of substances. It is produced during the process of breathing of animals and plants. It is essential for photosynthesis, which is the source of food supply in the environment. Photosynthesis is also a source of oxygen in the atmosphere. Okay. Now, acid or rainwater can dissolve if this causes when atmospheric carbon dioxide combines with the rainwater, we call it acid rain. Okay, and it has the power of dissolving marble of our monuments and can kill plants and animals badly. So carbon dioxide, as we all know, that it's a harmful compound of carbon which can cause acid rain and which can create a lot of global disaster. Among the other atmospheric gases, we have the argon and neon, which are mostly the inert gases, and they are filled in electric bulbs. Hydrogen and helium gases are also filled in the balloons. We used the observations of weather conditions. Balloons filled by helium go high up in the sky because helium is lighter than other atmospheric gases. So we are also getting the different uses of inert gases which are also found in the atmosphere. Now we will see that going to the last paragraph, that what is the atmosphere, how it is acting as a medium for dispersal of gaseous waste. Okay, so now we are coming to atmosphere, a medium for dispersal of gaseous waste. Dispersal of anything usually requires some medium, isn't it? Likewise, dispersal of various waste also requires different types of medium. Various types of gaseous pollutants such as ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, etc., fumes and smokes are produced through burning of different fuels. Mostly they are produced by burning of fossil fuels like petroleum, natural gases and coal. Okay, these pollutants are directly released into the air such as the medium of dispersal and act as a medium of dispersal of gaseous waste. Heavy amount of particulate matter and ash fly goes up in the sky after being released through chimneys of the various thermal power plants. Those particular ashes are blown away up to distant places where they settle down on either on plants, buildings or fields. Thus, atmosphere acts as a medium of dispersal of gaseous pollutants. Why only from the thermal or the chimney factories? It is also from when there is a volcanic eruption. Okay, then those fumes and ashes and those gases are also released into the atmosphere. So in this way it acts as a medium of dispersal of different gaseous waste. Now to summarize the chapter, children, we have learned about the different layers of the atmosphere as they are present around us as a blanket of air. We have seen their importance for each and every layer of the atmosphere, how they play a role in our lives. Secondly, we have seen what are the different functions of the atmosphere, in which way they play as or act as a blanket around us, how they maintain humidity and temperature onto the earth, and how are they a source of different important gases, and lastly, how they act as a medium for dispersal of gaseous waste. Now, it is also to let you know, children, that I have also given you the photos of the exercise questions. What you will do is, you will do the MCQ, fill in the blanks, true, false, very short type questions in the copy. Short answer type questions, you have got 8, and long answer type you have got 4. All the answers are very direct answers from the book. So I will not give you these answers. You will write on your own. If you find any difficulty, you will keep it for me to tell you later on when the school reopens. But you should not face any problem, as all the answers are very much directly linked with the chapter. So please go through the chapter once nicely, and as you all have read about this particular chapter, about air and its different layers previously also, you will not face any problem. I believe so. So please attempt all the questions from the exercise and wait for my further instruction. And I have also given you in your previous slide a few diagrams which are important. So you will be drawing those onto your classwork copies later. Fine. Right now for your practice, you can draw it on an A4 size paper. The layers of the atmosphere, the photos of land breeze and sea breeze, and also the composition of the air. Alright. If you have any query, please note them down for later use. Alright. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.